Here on Banks Peninsula, there has been a whole lot of work being done around growing new forests.
Banks Peninsula is a really cool bit of the country, really. It sticks out like a thumb sticking out the side of the South Island, and it gets all these different weather patterns that hit it. It's warmer than surrounding bits of low-lying plains, and it's the southern limit for a lot of species. Things like Nico, our only palm species on the mainland, that's got its southernmost limit down here on Banks Peninsula. We know that before humans arrived, probably 98% of Banks Peninsula was covered in forest. Big podocarps, matai, tōtara, kakatea would have been dominating these landscapes. There would have been some areas where we had beech forest, but there still is some sort of subalpine stuff right at the tops, and there's some species, some little alpine species that you find growing here and nowhere else in the world. So they're endemic to Banks Peninsula.
What are the key things you think we can do as a country to protect our old forests and also grow new ones?
We need to be looking after the early successional forests, the Mānuka and Kānuka stages that are the future tall forest. We've got to let them do their thing, let regeneration occur. So keeping your browsers out, your possums down, your deer, your goats. We need seeds coming in. We need the keriru flying through that are dispersing those matai seeds, those other tall trees. We need that next generation of species. If we're talking about forest succession, we're talking about restoration potentially through from bare pasture to a native forest. We're not going to get that overnight. We go through the early stages, different species come through next, and so on. It takes time. Humans, we've got 80 years, if we're maybe 90, if we're particularly lucky. Forests, they work on much bigger timescales. They do things in their own pace.
I come from Tairāwhiti up in Gisborne, right? We are seeing the impacts of climate change really significantly over the last couple of years. What role do you think forests play in increasing our resilience to these climate change events?
One of the reasons that we've had issues in those parts of the country is the removal of forests in the first place, holding all those soils together with their root systems. And once that's gone, there's nothing to hold the soil on those steep slopes. And so then you get all the landslides following.
What are your thoughts on monocultural forests versus really diverse native forests with different root systems and different depths of roots?
Well, we've got diversity, you've got more resilience, because you've got different species doing different things, growing in different ways, different ages. In particular, with monocultures, and something we've got to think about with our forestry industry should be thinking about, is where you've got all your investment tied up in a single species. And we've seen this with coated dieback, we've seen this with myrtle rust. You get a pest, a pathogen coming in that's going to target that one species, you've got a problem.
If we do lose species through climate change, through phytophthora, through diseases or anything else, you've been doing some really unique work around seed banking those native species. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Those sort of repositories are super important. They're not a replacement by any means for conservation in the bush, but they're a backup, really important backup. So if something happened, you can go to your bank, make a withdrawal, and get those seeds growing, get those species back into the landscape. And there's plenty of examples around the world where something may have just about gone extinct in the wild. They can go to their seed bank, they can take out those seeds, they can propagate those plants, they can get them back, and they can do that restoration. And that's really important. That's something that we need to start working on in New Zealand. We need to start building on.